Welcome back to another video. My name is Henrik and today we're going to be road tripping this Kia Sorento all the way down to the Alps for my skiing holiday. It's a 2025 variant, so there's quite a lot of changes and also looking fairly fantastic. In this video we're going to be taking it for a trip of around 800 kilometers or 1,600 kilometers. It's a diesel variant, it's the 4x4 variant, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're also going to be looking at everything that you need to know. So comfort, how does it drive on the Autobahn? What's the consumption like? How does it handle in, well, winter conditions? And everything else that you basically need to know. I do really like the looks of this car. It's obviously going to be in a 7-seater. You can get it in a 5 or a 6-seater variant as well. And I think the color also looks pretty decent on here. As you can see, Sorento, and we also have the 4x4 variant. There's only going to be one thing I'm not the biggest fan of this car, and that is going to be in the trunk. If you really want to take this on a ski holiday by yourself, like I am, then the trunk might not be the best thing. As you can see, there is no center tunnel, so you have to put your skis on the side, so they're going to move around quite a lot if you don't, well, put them well in there. But it would be really nice if there would be a center tunnel. However, if you do get the rear seats, you actually get quite a lot of comfort things in here. For instance, you get air conditioning, you get well, electrical seats for the rear, so you can flip them over. You get storage space down there, and just in general, a USB-C as well, and a quite comfortable seating position in the back for, well, a little bit more of kids. But otherwise, you can see here I've got it up stored quite a lot, and I think it's still quite plenty of space. Yeah, I do have quite a lot of things here for my ski holiday. But let's get right into the trip and look at everything this car offers from the inside. And now, sitting in the inside, let's start up the car. We do have, well, fairly big interior, as you can tell here, but if we press the start button, you can see we get this new infotainment display in the center, which I really do like. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything that you basically need. And the great thing about this car that I'm road tripping down there, it's going to be the diesel variant. So you're going to get 194 horsepower and 440 Newton meters. And a diesel engine which so far has got an average consumption of 6.2 liters, which is absolutely fantastic. Apple CarPlay, like I already said, if we plop it in here, we're going to go down and we're going to first of all go to my grandma, and then from there we're going to go ahead further down into the Alps. But otherwise, like I said, I do really like the interior quality in here. We can also obviously turn on the lights. First of all, let's just start up the engine and you can listen to it for a second. There is that inline 4-cylinder coming to life. And then if we, where's the light? There it is. If we turn that on, we can see here typical kind of layout from Kia. Obviously you have these buttons here so you can move the seats forward and backwards, again for basically the rear passengers. And lots of storage space down there. That's actually quite fantastic. And you also have this little thing where you can basically unlock the car with your fingerprint, which is cool. Inductive loading hasn't personally worked for me. Heated seat, ventilated seats, and also this is pretty cool. You have different drive modes. So you have Smart, which is the first time I've seen that in a Kia, Sport, Eco, and Normal. And there's also some other ones here which are going to be for your terrain. So you have snow, mud, and sand. All pretty cool because we also have the 4x4 function here. Otherwise, your typical controls, we also get a camera. Let's quickly look at that, which is going to be a 360-degree camera with also on the side here, which is always nice. You can see your rims and also your trajectory lines there. And the rear camera looks like that, again, with trajectory lines. Always love to see it. This is still one of my favorite things about the Kia infotainment display is down here you have these different buttons, so you switch between navigation and also your climatization, which is always pretty cool. And of course, when I'm leaving city for a winter holiday, it's starting to snow here. What are already winter condition here. We got -3 degrees on the outside right now. We're gonna see what we get when we're all the way down there, but look at this winter wonderland. While we're driving in the city here, we obviously have quite a lot of things that are comfortable about this car. For instance, we have a heads-up display which is going to show us all our information at the relative times. We have this big infotainment display. We have our digital cockpit where we can't really change that much. You can just go through the center views here, and otherwise you have your basic RPMs on the right, kilometers an hour on the left side. You can also see we have 910 kilometers left of range now. The car's around like 99% full, so quite a lot there. And if you do live in Europe and you have that stupid warning, EU warning assist, which is just the most stupidest thing, 1 kilometer over the speed limit, you're gonna get a warning sign. You can hold down the mute button on here for around 5 seconds and it's going to turn it on or off, depending on if you already have it off. And then obviously that's going to be not bothering you anymore. Otherwise, which I really like, we also have down here heated steering wheel as well as heated seats with this pretty cool physical button. So up is for your heated seats and down is for your climatization of the seats, which is all pretty good. And I really do feel safe in this car when driving here these winter conditions. I know it's only -3, it's not icy or anything like that on the outside, but you still have a very, well, not a very heavy car, but a fairly big car. I think around 1.8 tons, that's how much it weighs, which for the size of the car nowadays might not even sound crazy with all the electrical cars. But you also have the all-wheel drive system in here, winter tires, and just a diesel engine as well with a lot of Newton meters. So what more could you ask for a car that you want to take down with your whole family with 7 seats? Which we're gonna do, and hopefully I'll see you back here on the Autobahn and show you our update while we're not stuck in a traffic jam anymore. I probably couldn't have chosen a worse time to start driving as well at 8:16 when everybody's trying to get to work and everyone's probably late for work. Well, screw you guys, I have no problem with waiting because I'm going to ski holiday. Yeah! Okay. And now join me on the Autobahn where we're cruising here at around 140 currently. We have our adaptive cruise control set up, with obviously keeping the distance to the car in front with a distance of, I've set it to 2. Lane key centralization is also activated, so at 140 here we're cruising quite nicely. And the thing I do like about this car as well, just like with any other Kia, if you for instance blink, it will also automatically turn. So you can see here, it's not going to do it right now, maybe because there was something in the way. I'm just going to do it myself. But you will also have the camera on the side just to double check that there's nothing on the side in your dead spot, which I always love, or your blind spot. Not your dead spot. Is it dead spot? Blind spot? I think it's blind spot. And now let's test it again. If you go right, we are going to have to slow down here as well. It is not going to do it. I don't know why it's not doing it. Maybe because I am driving a little bit too fast for it to do, but theoretically it should be doing it. Otherwise, we are cruising here at 120. We'd be looking at 1,800 RPMs with this engine, and at around 140, I think it was at 2,200 if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to check that here in a second again. Like I said, heads-up display also quite nice. It shows you everything that you need to know. It shows you the road. It also shows you if it's bending, so you can see right there, if you can see it, if the camera is adjusted correctly. Everything that you basically need and more. It is really comfortable to drive this even at higher speeds. I'm a person that does like to drive a little bit faster on the Autobahn, just because I also have the luxury to do it on the Autobahn, or the Autobahn in German, which is the only country where you can theoretically be doing that, drive at any speed you want, while keeping obviously a safe travel speed with the traffic around you, which is always quite nice. At 100 we'll be looking at 1,600 RPMs, and again does a fairly decent job here with the car. If we also press it again, if we press OK, I think it is, right? There we go. So set it not 140. I don't want to accelerate too fast there, buddy. Hola, you want to go a little bit faster so I can maybe overtake? That would be very nice of you. Thank you very much. But how's outside deadening of the car as well? I think it is fairly comfortable in here. Not too much noise. Obviously you will hear cars swooshing by. You will also hear when there is a little bit more wind, which there is a little bit of wind today, so it's not the most comfortable to drive today, but still a fairly decent condition here. Obviously a little bit colder at -3. And now we're obviously going up the hill, 3,600 RPMs for the car right now. At 130, let's see what we'll be averaging here. So it just shifted up. And the shifts are also really smooth. You do not really experience much of the shifts. They're really smooth. You don't get jonked back into the seat. So a really nice gearbox as well, in my opinion. And he's going to overtake, obviously. And one thing that I also like in here is the sound. The sound system in here is actually quite nice. It does allow you, there we go, now it's going to automatically turn, so if I let go of the steering wheel, it's going to centralize back into the onto the correct lane, which is always quite nice. If I do it again, there we go, it is going to do it again now. I think because did I take my hands off before? Maybe that's why it wasn't working, but there you go. That is how it works, which is always quite nice. But yeah, the sound system in here does do a good job. I have listened to it now for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, and it does sound decent. I really do like it. And the seats on here are also quite comfortable, apart from one thing. I would have liked, oh, there my camera just flipped down. If there would have theoretically been a little bit more of upper thigh support, because the way it is right now, for longer distance, my upper thigh is basically not supported too much because I'm angled a little bit. I do like to sit personally a little bit closer to the steering wheel. Therefore, you can see here my upper thigh is adjusted a little bit higher, so I don't have not much support down here, which is going to be for the longer run maybe not the most comfortable for me personally. If you sit further back, you're not going to have an issue, but I like to sit a little bit more forward just to have a little, well, to have a more secure feeling of the car and just a better driving position in my opinion. So just a small update, there has been a problem with the camera in the front, as you might be able to tell by all the like orange lights there. Lane keeping assist is not activated anymore, speed sign detection is not activated, lane centralization and also the adaptive cruise control is not working now because maybe a camera in the front is dirty or something. So I'm going to pull over at the next stop, just clean off the front camera. But the thing I found a little bit weird is that the like the tiring, like the coffee sign there is also off. That means the camera in the inside might not be completely working. Maybe if we restart the car it's going to work again. Don't know why, but there you can see on the bottom right 5 fault messages. So I'm going to have to check out what that is. Kind of unfortunate because adaptive cruise control is always nice to have, especially over these long journeys. So we're going to pull over at the next one and see if maybe there was something with the camera in the front, so just clean it off. So just as I turned off the camera, it decided to work again. It switched on adaptive cruise control again, just press on the OK button and it all worked fine again. Don't know what that was about, maybe just a small little issue and you had to reset something. But there you go, it works again. So let's continue the journey. We still have around 4 hours to go with 389 kilometers. Actually, while we're doing that, first of all, 135 kilometers an hour, we are at around 2,000 RPMs. That's what you're going to be looking at. I've been averaging quite a good speed, but also a little bit of a higher consumption then. With 8.3 liters, we've been driving 124 kilometers in 1 hour and 17 minutes. So you can do the calculation of the average speed in there. Actually, okay, maybe there is no way to actually show what the average speed is on here. I thought there was somewhere where it shows you your consumption, but I think it's only in the digital cockpit, so I might have been mistaken about that. But we're looking at around 8.2 liters now, which I think is still fairly decent. However, if you would be driving this car with fully loaded, then expect that to maybe even go up to 10 liters when you're driving at these speeds. We've just about arrived at our destination, around 20 minutes left, so 22 kilometers. The journey has been quite nice, was fairly free as well, so there was not much really to do apart from driving 140, and that's about it. You can see my average consumption over the last 480 kilometers. It took me 4 hours and 25 minutes to drive all the way from Kassel down here to basically Munich, and 7.8 liters. You can also see down here 377 kilometers less left of total range. Like I said previously, it was completely full. I think it said 911. First I got the car 930, I think, so I only drove around 20 kilometers yesterday. And like I said, yesterday I got the car. So even with that, we're still going to make it to our final destination. So I'm going to stop here for an hour or so now and then head down into Stubaier Gletscher, which is where we're going, which is this Stubaier Glacier, which is one of the highest, if not the highest, no, it's not the highest in Austria, but it's a glacier with a very nice skiing resort there, so I can't wait for that. But the one thing I actually forgot is my ski poles. Forgot my ski poles, so I'm going to have to buy new ones. Back in the days I always used to, well, go skiing without poles, but I kind of, it just feels weird without, I don't know where my hands are supposed to go then, and I want something to stick into the ground, you know, also help me forward, so I need those poles. I'm gonna get some. That's unfortunate. It's another, I don't know how much they cost, like 40 bucks down the drain or something like that. Yeah, but hopefully I'll get some nice ones. But yeah, you can see weather is really not that great. It's been foggy all around. It's like, it's mixed. It's foggy, then it's like wonderful Christmas time. You can see now it's also 0 degrees here, so there's not much snow here. And then otherwise it's just wonderful, wonderful sunny surrounding. And now it's just this beautiful, well, not beautiful weather. Funny thing is, I got my grandma and I was like, I'm going to be there like at 1:30. And she's like, oh, we got beautiful weather here. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it right now, but we'll see about that. Yeah. There's the first mountains that you can see. We're just entering into the Alps right now. Just about to cross into Austria as well here. Well, not just about, it's like another 13 kilometers. But I just wanted to give you the panoramic view here before it's going to get dark of these still very low mountains. If you compare it to America, all of the mountains are going to be fairly low. The one I'm going to is going to be 3,200 meters high, which in feet, I don't know, maybe 7,000 feet. Is that accurate? Isn't like 3.2, I think 1 meter is 3.2 feet, something like that, if I'm not mistaken, something right about there. Car-wise, I can't really complain. It's been a pleasure to drive this. Very, very well, comforting in here. It has, like I already mentioned, heated seats, ventilated seats. Only thing I'm kind of missing is massage function. That would just be the creme de la creme. That would make it very, very nice. The only issue I did have was with that camera. Otherwise, everything has been working fine. If we then look at the consumption as well, we can see that since restarting this tripometer, we've had an average consumption now down to 7.5 liters, which I still think is fairly decent. If you are in here fully loaded, maybe 9 liters now at this rate, 9.2, somewhere right around there. I don't really know how much it adds when you have a fully loaded car in here, maybe a couple of liters, who knows. But 7.5 is what I've been getting, and I've been cruising at around 140 the whole time, while trying to get 140, and there was a lot of times where I did have to step down and then, well, accelerate again. So if you'd be cruising at 120, you would be definitely a lot more efficient. But I just wanted to get down here because you can see I left a little bit late here at my grandma's, and now therefore it is getting dark. Kind of wanted to arrive when it was still daytime, but I'm going to be arriving at around 6:11, so in around an hour and 12 minutes I'm going to be at my destination. There's just one thing. In Austria you need a vignette, which basically allows you to drive on their highways. It's for 10 days, 12 euros and 90 cents. But once you're past Innsbruck and then going down further towards like Meran, you're going to have to be driving on the Brenner, which is another separate Autobahn they have, or a highway. We're going to again have to pay for it. And one trip on there is 12 euros and 90 cents, so basically the vignette on top, which I think is kind of a scam, even though that highway costs a lot of money, but you're basically paying double for using, well, still driving in Austria. I didn't get that, but there is supposed to be the section to where I need to get off still is public road, so vignette road. And after that, you need the toll of another 12 euros and 90 per drive. So I'm hoping I did that correct. If not, then, well, I guess I'm going to get a fee of 12.90 or even more because I forgot to buy a toll because I didn't get off at the right place. But otherwise, like I said, almost 600 kilometers now. Once we reach our destination, it's going to be around 700 or 600 and what was it? Well, around 670 kilometers in total. That's where we have been driving, so not the 800 that I claimed, and 7.4 liters, so it has gone down again. But like I said, we still have 302 kilometers of range left, and I think it has been very, very comfortable to drive here. Really not much to complain about. So let's skip forward to, let's check out the hotel room. Why not? Let's check that out. And there we are. Welcome to my little hotel room here for the next 5 days. You can tell, well, looking very explorer-like. That's what's also called the Explorer Hotel. And that's actually pretty cool. I've never seen something like this. But in the window, you have this seating position where you can sit in, look out, or you can also go onto the balcony. Hello. Little bed there with also an Explorer up on the top, which is also pretty cool. And then you just have your typical washroom in here, looking fairly decent. For the price that I paid, I'm actually surprised by how good this is, with also breakfast and stuff like that. So I'm quite excited to go skiing now. Well, what better way to finish the video by going down this slope and enjoying the view. That looks absolutely fantastic. I think we're at 3,000 meters now in height here. What's that, like 9,000 something? Is it not 3 times 2? I have no idea. But first of all, don't judge my technique because I'm not the best skier. But let's look at my final verdict of this Kia Sorento. And I gotta say, for the price that you're getting, or the price that you're paying, you're getting quite a decent car. 7-seater with diesel, 4x4, getting you lots of versatility as well. And that's gonna allow you to just be flexible. You're gonna be able to take it into ski holiday like I have, with a fairly decent consumption of 7.2 liters. I would not say no to that. You can pack a lot of things in there, get a roof rail, put all your skis in there if you want to do that. And then take your whole family on a trip. Otherwise, I like what they've done with the design. The interior also looks nice now with the big infotainment display. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And in general, just a very decent looking car. Very comfortable, heated seats, ventilated seats. Massage function would have obviously been nice for a trip like this. That was a close one. That guy did not look. It is also actually quite agile around some faster corners, like here in these mountainy areas. And even at higher speeds, still is fairly comfortable. And like I said, 140 kilometers an hour was my kind of like cruise speed set to. And then the 7.2 liter consumption there, I think is a quite decent consumption. What do you think of the car? Would you buy one? And what do you think of this view? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, And that was a nice little descent from all the way up there. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Whew.